So in this video, I will be reviewing something kind of unexpected, and I will be opening the Percy's Connect and Build track bucket. Gonna be honest, I never planned on getting any sets, or like even for the classic motorized range that's coming up, just because sets do tend to take a lot of space, and I don't really have that kind of space right now. But the only reason I did get this, along with the Which Way Bridge set, was because I went to a Walmart, and I saw that they had both of these sets on clearance for $15. This was normally, I think, $30, so that's, half off. And then the Which Way Bridge set normally costs $50, which, for 15 bucks, I think that's kind of a steal. I was like, you know what, I'll just get the bull strode from it. That's not bad. And, some extra track and all that. So I thought that was kind of cool. So I'd say, like, if you're interested in getting any of these sets, go check out your Walmarts. Maybe they might have them on clearance, maybe not. But yeah, in this set, they do have, you could do like 2 different layouts. And then it does come with like a muddy Percy on top, which I'll show better when I get this opened up. On the back, it shows like what you get, which honestly doesn't feel like you're getting much. It might just be because you're getting like 1 of each thing and then like 2 or 3 of other pieces. And this isn't supposed to be some like mega set or anything, but we'll see. We'll check out the layouts when we open it. We'll see like how good they actually are, and we'll run some engines on them. Once you get the zip ties off of the top part, you're able to take this bit off, which is kind of like a 3-way switch, which I think is pretty cool. Then on the inside, you have this like, I'll just go like promo art of the main characters there. And then you just get a bunch of bags, and then more bags, and then some loose track in here. This part that serves as like a tunnel, you do just gotta put like the stickers on here, which I'll do that after off camera. And then the top part, which you could do kind of like an elevated part, which is kind of cool, honestly. This kind of reminds me of Blue Mountain Quarry stuff that they used to release back then. But yeah, let me get this out of the way and then we'll take a look at the Percy. So this is the Muddy Percy you get in the set. Nothing new really. I know you've probably seen this before, since I think the copyright date on the bottom said 2023, so this has been out for a while. And if I'm not mistaken, I know they did like a muddy like wave of characters, and I think Percy was one of them, but I can't remember. I know they did Thomas and Nia, and if they did do a Percy, like I don't know if this is exactly the same one, or maybe if they change up the face. They did give it a brown chassis just, to represent the mud. The front coupling is also brown, which I think is really unique that they did that, just so, it goes along with the chassis and like the whole mud detailing. The wheels are brown. They don't have any printing on them like the, normal Percy does. Here's the face. I think it's kind of cute. For some reason, I don't know if it's just on this model specifically or if other ones are like this, but the printing just looks like really, really fuzzy. The lining especially just looks like really, really crusty, like pixelated, like really, really fuzzy and blurry. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it's just the way like they print stuff nowadays, but it just looks kind of bad. Like comparing it to the All Engines Go Thomas, you can see like the lining, it's not really like that. It's like more painted on, while this one's like printed on. I don't know exactly how that works, how they do that, but you could tell by the 6 also, it kind of has a bit of a fuzzy look to it with the mud, while the one here is just like straight up like painted on, I think. Obviously Percy's bunker is kind of like big, it like sticks out way too far, but it's just an All Engines Go detail. The dome and the whistle, yeah, that is his dome. Yeah, I don't know why I'm thinking like it's not, but yeah, that's pretty much all you get from this. And then comparing it to the classic Percy, obviously night and day difference. 2 different eras of the show. No side rods. This one has side rods. This one's more proportionate to what Percy's supposed to look like. Yeah, I mean, I'd say they're unique in their own ways, obviously. They're both for a different crowd of people. The 6 on this one does represent the 6 that, he should have, while this one is kind of a weird, different font. I don't know why they did that again, like I said before. Smaller dome, smaller whistle, while this one's, overly exaggerated and big. And yeah. Now let's get on to the set. So here's layout 1 completely finished. It's kind of hard to see on camera here, but it's a pretty wide like set. So like I think this is my favorite layout compared from the 2. I will build the other one so we could just take a look at it. So basically the main premise of this set is just a push along Percy, and you're just supposed to like push it around, just play with it. That's pretty much it, because obviously it comes with no motorized engine, so you can't really like run the Percy on its own. But if you do got your own engines, you could do that. And another thing like I want to like just quickly mention about this set, this part, even though it's not 100% accurate, it kind of does remind me of like Ulfstead Mine. Yeah, like with this part here kind of going down, even though like it would be the other way. So like probably from the points here coming down and then it take a turn that way. You could probably create kind of like an Ulfstead mine like set, but obviously it's not. This is based on how engines go. So, but you can still do that if you really want to, which I think is really cool. I like all the risers and all that. It just adds more elevation to the set. And yeah, now we're gonna show layout 2. And here's layout 2. Something I did forget to mention on the first layout, which I think is intentional, which I think is pretty cool, is like the way to design the track and using the colors. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like, this is kind of at like, you know, surface level, and then this like down part's like all the muddy track area like down below, and then up here is kind of like, oh, you're just going up a mountain and you're just coming back down around to like the muddy area, which is not really represented here that well because of like the different use of the track colors all over the place. But I think that's a pretty cool aspect of layout 1, and I will say I do prefer layout 1 over layout 2. This one is a bit longer, in case you can't see there. Yeah, pretty much the same thing, just push Percy along, pushing up the hill, over the bridge, and then come right round down to the bottom. Just bring him back up, do the same thing all over again. Pretty simple stuff. Again, like I said, if you had a motorized engine, pretty, you know, it all run by itself. So yeah, we'll go do that right now. We'll run some of the classic engines around this layout, and same thing with layout 1, and then we'll end the video there. Another thing I want to mention real quick is that I realized when I ran that Percy around, this set kind of sucks, like at least this layout, because I just noticed that when you bring him up to the top and then come around through the backside, they both, like, you know, it'll come through this side or this side, whichever way you go, and then you're pretty much just stuck, on this loop, which is kind of lame, honestly. If they would have incorporated a way to get that around, so it could, like, you know, go around the whole set more than once, I thought that, you know, that would have been pretty cool. But that's just more points to layout 1, because that kind of is disappointing that it's only like one-time thing and then you just kind of stay stuck in this oval here. But yeah, that's all I wanted to mention real quick. But yeah, that's both of the layouts. Like I said, I'm a bigger fan of layout 1 more than layout 2. I'd say go check your Walmarts if you do want this, at least for the track. Because like I mentioned before, I found this for 15 bucks, which is a really, really good deal considering I didn't have any like Trackmaster 2 track. And yeah, if you want the Muddy Percy as well, you could get that along with it. And that should be all. Then thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Another thing about Trackmaster 2 that I forgot to mention during my review is that I don't really like how easily they derail. Like, I literally don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the tracks, if it's like the engines themselves. They just literally derail over any little thing. That's one problem I have with like the whole system of Trackmaster 2. But it is what it is. I'm just gonna run Thomas by himself, see if maybe that fixes the issue. Yeah, that's kind of better now. Sorry, Percy.